Do you have tips for organizing books?
You've probably heard me say over and over in the Hive that my favorite homeschool tool are my little IKEA carts on wheels that we can roll right up to the table. So that's my number one tip. I love to put our books on those. I actually have two of them. I have one that we wheel up to the dining room table for the subjects we do there, and I have another that I wheel into the living room for the subjects that we do as a family gathered in there. So I know other people have a cart for each student with their school supplies and everything and their books right on the cart, and that works really well for their families. I think a bookshelf can work well too. Some people, if they work at their dining room table or they have a homeschool table they work at, they make sure and put the bookshelf very nearby so that they can just reach and get those easily. I've heard people even use baskets or book bags for their kids and have that particular student's things all gathered up in one spot for them. And then another tip I saw last year on the Hive that I really liked was the mom who was using washi tape on the spines of the books to mark which students were using that book so they could find it really easily. And if it was being used by multiple students, she went ahead and put the washi tape for that student and had several on that book. So I thought that was neat to have a particular color design assigned to each student to mark their things. But I'm anxious to hear all of your tips too, because I'm always up for more organizing tips.
I think we've done a little bit of all of what you were saying, Melissa. Actually, at our co-op this year, the washi tape has been like the thing because we can all just see which book belongs to us really easily to get it back out because we put them all into a bucket to go into the room with the kids as we're covering different subjects, and that's worked. So then I brought it home for us to use as a family too. It's been really good. So each kid knows exactly which atlas is theirs and they can get the same one every time, which is super important to my oldest. Troy loves that for some reason. I don't know why. He's like that with his chair too. He's like, no, this is my chair. Nobody else is allowed to sit here. I don't know. I think that's a fun one. I think the only other book organizing tip I would make is kind of put the ones that go together. Sometimes you have like a teacher guide and this book and this atlas, or having them grouped kind of close by to each other makes that a little bit easier. So I don't always group them by, I don't know, I've tried by subject, I've tried by day, I've things that you do by yourself versus things we do as a family. I think it just takes having a plan and then being willing to adjust that plan if it's not working for you.
I would just say having a place and knowing that's exactly where they're going to be. To me, having a home, wherever it's going to be with your family. I have a bookshelf that's literally right by my table and a basket that I use for things we use a lot. So like maps and those types of things. It's in my basket, literally right by my chair. And then I have all of my lesson plans right beside me. And then I can literally pull off my shelf here, all our books. So everything, just making sure it's easily accessible and ready to go and always goes back to where it needs to be after a lesson is probably the most important thing. So however you want to organize it works as long as it gets put back. So it's there for the next lesson and you're not looking for it. So
that's a good point. We actually build that into our homeschool day of like, once we're done with this specific number of lessons, then we have like a tidy up of everybody put your books back where they go so you know where they are next time.
And I think it's great if you can even start teaching the youngest ones, like my son right now, who's 6 in first grade. There's not that many things he knows, like how to pull off the shelf and put back, but he knows some of them. Like he's really excited to have an independent subject. He's that kind of kid. I think he's going to be one of the ones that really wants to do everything independent as fast as they can. Whereas my daughter, she would still love to do every single subject with me. I have to like kind of nudge her into independence. So he is really excited about the fact that he does his copy work himself. I mean, I check it every day with him, but he likes to set his timer and do his words, and he's doing it based on his poetry from the workbook, and he's so proud of it. And so then, but part of that is he wants to just leave it on the table. So you have to learn, put all your copy work materials back away on the shelf. So it's a good little like habit and teaching thing for him. but I agree with Amy that just whatever you choose, that you just need to have a home for your stuff. It doesn't have to look all fancy or look pretty. It's nice. I mean, that's nice, but Instagram has definitely given people a false sense of real life. You just need to make it work.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Yes.